Block. Just go ahead, block. Block everybody. Block me if you want. I don't care. But I posted about Blue Sky the other day, and I was just posting about Blue Sky. And there was all this like, oh, you just want an echo chamber. You block so many people. Yeah, I block people on here all the time. I block people on YouTube all the time. I block people on Blue Sky all the time. The great thing with Blue Sky is you can actually just download block lists that other people maintain and take care of things. You don't even have to see any of the crap you don't want to see. But yeah, of course I block. And the only people mad about blocking are the little troll children. So I always think of like, I've been online since like 1981. I consider the people online that have had long-term relationships with friends. They're real friends. We used to, when I was a kid, play baseball outside. I know, on a dead end. And we would play, and there'd be this little kid who would come up, who was like 10 years younger than everybody else, who just tried to be edgy. And he would yell profanity. And you'd be like, yeah, whatever. And then he'd try to steal the ball sometime, and just like a nuisance. But you knew that was like little Timmy. You're like, yeah, it's little Timmy. What are you going to do? But then one time, little Timmy tried to get one of the even younger kids to try to eat dog poop. And I had to report him to mom. But online, we can't see that you're little Timmy, but we know you're little Timmy. Because deep down in your heart, that's who you are. And so, yeah, you're never going to say anything interesting. You're never going to be part of a conversation. It used to be we could have more robust conversations that expanded out like kind of the surface of what that conversation could be about. But you can't do that anymore these days because one side wants to be all crazy and angry and screaming and yelling the whole time. And, like I will never be a big account, especially on TikTok, because on TikTok, what you want is you want to have controversy. You want to have engagements. You want to have people who are going back and forth. But when you come on here and I post something about trans people being real and you be all edgy and try to dismiss that and dismiss actual human beings, I'm just going to block you because I don't want anybody else coming to my post to have to interact with you. Where if I was trying to build my account, I would let that happen. And that's like with X, that's what happens. It is its own beast. It is purposely designed to try to anger you and engage that way. I don't want to. I don't have to. Unlike you, I leave mom's basement and I will go out today and I will go interact with human beings, and some of them will be different than me. We will have different opinions, and sometimes we'll talk about stuff and sometimes we won't. But I don't need to go out of my way. It would be kind of like saying like, hey, I'm going to have a Thanksgiving dinner. And do we invite anybody who's going to pee on the table? Because, hey, we're in an echo chamber unless somebody's pissing on the table, right? Like, no. So I know this. I'm talking to the little children here because the little children are the ones who create the second and third account to tell me how wrong I was for blocking them because they're not angry. Like, dude, I don't even think about you anymore. When you block somebody, you don't even have to think about them anymore. They're gone. They're like whatever, right? But like if we're talking about like the economics of mid-sized video games, and all of a sudden you're just like, hey, pizza face. Yeah. What? Do I now have to engage about rosacea again? No. Like, right? So there's just no reason to ever have to do that. And so just block. And so this really is just for people who are uncomfortable with that idea. Just block. Trust me. Your life is just a lot better. You don't need to hear what angry little boys say, because it's almost always angry little boys. But seriously, it's little Timmy. He's just causing trouble. And the reason why you want to block on an app like this or YouTube is you don't want to have the people that you actually want to speak to, the people that you actually want to talk to, have to run into that and see that and be like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to have these kind of conversations, right? Because I don't know anybody a conversation, and you don't know me a conversation, but we can foster actual real conversations by making sure we have a place where those conversations can flourish. And they can flourish where on YouTube, when I say, hey, I'm on Blue Sky, and someone says, oh, so you're a communist, I don't need to really think about blocking that person. I don't need to think about them in a conversation. I don't need to think about them ever again, except for this video, right? Because I don't even remember their name. Like, right? Because who cares? Like, what interesting thing are they going to say if they think posting on a social media platform is communism? Or it'd be like, hey, I like the Cleveland Guardians, so I'm going to go sit by some other people who are cheering on the team. Oh, no, you've got to go sit with the opposing team and fight them. Why? No, you don't. Life's too short, man. And you don't win an award for being the most outraged person. I know I get wound up myself, right? I remind myself that there is nothing. Action that affects change is worth spending exertion on. Outrage is not. right? And so for me, a lot of that is right now, it's about building community. It's about giving a place so that we can have real discussion about games, that people can reveal games and talk about games, and not just actually games, it's art, anything creative, where they know that they can put out something that is unfinished, that is problematic, that has a bunch of warts and jank around it, and they won't get torn apart and attacked. Instead, they can have conversations about it because that's how we all get better and smarter.